It's a little bit nippy out there, I'm not going to lie. We've had to bring it indoors. Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Chelsea versus Bournemouth, match preview on the George Benson football channel. It wouldn't be a regular match day without a little cheeky preview for a Friday night before what should be, I mean, touch wood, I'm going to hit the table. It should be a win for Chelsea, this one. Bournemouth have got a lot of injury worries. They're kind of in a transitional phase right now where they're trying to become a bit better defensively, so they're changing their play style and it's not quite working. Chelsea are probably playing them at the right time. Chelsea's Premier League form hasn't been great. There's been some good individual performances, but it's not been top 4 form. And we go to Tottenham away next week, and I'm going to be doing a lot of videos in the build up to that game. We're going to, well, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but there's just going to be extra impetus next week for the Spurs game. But we've got some tricky ones. We've got Tottenham away before Christmas, Arsenal away just after Christmas, and a Boxing Day game against Southampton, which you never know what's going to happen on Boxing Day. It depends how much they've ate the day before. So this one at home to Bournemouth, a lot of injuries right now. Nathan Ake, the man that we spoke about to some extent yesterday, in the video I posted last night. If you haven't yet seen it, I basically go over the centre-back situation at Chelsea. We talk about Koulibaly. We talk about Chelsea potentially exercising their 40 million buyback clause on Nathan Ake's Bournemouth deal. The man picked up an injury, a hamstring injury, in the game against Liverpool last weekend, and Eddie Howe has confirmed that it could be up to 6 weeks with Nathan Ake on the sidelines. So I thought it'd be interesting. You know, a team like Bournemouth, they're not great defensively. Nathan Ake's their best defender. Let's see how he does against Tammy Abraham and the Chelsea front line that at times this season have looked absolutely brilliant. So sadly, we're not going to get to test Ake out this weekend. He's injured. I guess you could also say, to an extent, it's kind of good, even though I never really wish an injury upon anyone. Bournemouth's injury worries mean that this game is coming at a great time for Chelsea. Callum Wilson is unlikely to feature at all. He's out injured for Bournemouth. He's one of their star strikers. And Joshua King, another man who, on his day, is a very decent striker indeed. The Norwegian, Eddie Howe, said today that he might be able to feature, but again, if a player's not 100% fit, it's very unlikely that Joshua King is going to be playing to his best. So in terms of Chelsea being a bit lucky when they're facing Bournemouth at home, this is probably the time to do so. They've also got Brooks out injured, Harry Wilson's out injured, Charlie Daniels is out injured for a long time as well. The Bournemouth team in the past that's come to Chelsea and given us a really tricky time, Eddie Howe is in a bit of a sticky situation right now with results, with the performance of their team, and they're trying to strike together some sort of defensive balance, and it isn't working out. So maybe this is an opportunity for Chelsea to put together a really convincing, strong home performance, score a few goals, focus, of course, on getting the 3 points, and it doesn't matter if Bournemouth's 2 top front men are out. It's always going to be a worry defensively. You've got Dominic Solanke, who's probably going to play, coming back to Chelsea, so there's going to be a little bit of added incentive for him to do over his former club. So Chelsea have got to be careful, but flipping dishwasher decides it wants to just start chatting to us. Mate, can you shut your mouth? Sounds like it's throwing up. Anyway, where were we? We're going to go through the Chelsea lineup now as to who I think should face Bournemouth. We've got the biggest game next weekend away at Spurs, but we've got no midweek match next week, which is actually great for this Chelsea team because we've had a lot of fixtures so far at the beginning of December, and it's starting probably to have some sort of effect on the fatigue of the players. In Frank Lampard's press conference earlier on today, he mentioned, and again, this brings it back to the whole transfer discussion, he mentioned that Chelsea have intentions of bringing in a top caliber player. He also hinted after the game against Lille that he's looking to strengthen in attacking positions to try and replace the void that's left in the side with the sale of Eden Hazard. So Chelsea are looking at attacking players, but we've also got some attacking players that are playing some really good stuff at the moment, and I want to make a point before we get into talking about the full lineup. Some people are somehow saying that I dislike Christian Pulisic. I really, really don't. And I think that even though I've not given him a green box every game, at least in all of my review-based 6 Things We Learnt videos, I've been acknowledging Christian Pulisic's performance. So not quite sure how people have come to the idea that I really dislike Christian Pulisic. I don't. I just did not think he would start against Lille because he did look so tired against Everton, which I also think is pretty fair analysis. But anyway, just thought I'd clear that one up because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Let's go through my Chelsea lineup to face Bournemouth. We're going to start off in goal. It was Kepa. I thought he made a couple of good saves in the game against Lille. Couldn't really do much about the goal. It was a very nice finish from ex-Chelsea boy Loic Remy. Kepa starts in goal. The right back, he didn't feature in the game in midweek. Reece James comes back into the Chelsea side. I think when he's playing in the Premier League, I think Reece is going to come back into the team today. With Azpilicueta, who put in a brilliant display against Lille, he got a huge captain's performance in the bank, which Chelsea desperately needed in a must-win game. Azpilicueta, for me, starts on the left. I think Emerson was pretty good in the game against Lille, but I think that Reece James will come back into Frank's team, and Azpilicueta, that midweek performance was just sublime. Who's that talking to me now then? And the centre-back partnership, and after we made that video yesterday, I think it's important that, at least for now, when Fikayo Tomori has just signed a new deal to keep him at Chelsea until 2024. Supposedly it's like a 5.5-year contract. Tomori is out for this game. He's not going to be able to feature. Some people have just wondered why Frank's all of a sudden stopped playing him. It's because he's injured. There's not really any other reason than that. So for me, after seeing Rudiger's performance in that match against Lille, Rudiger starts on the right with Kurt Zuma on the left, or vice versa. I'm not entirely sure which one the players prefer to do themselves and what Frank's decided, but Rudiger and Zuma will be the centre-back partnership in my opinion. If you watched the video yesterday where we talked about Koulibaly, we talked about Chelsea potentially offloading a centre-back to facilitate the move for either Nathan Ake or Koulibaly, I mentioned that Christensen would probably be the player that Chelsea might freeze out in order to sell and recoup some money for whatever it is they spend on a replacement. So Zuma and Rudiger, what they bring to the team, I think Rudiger does have leadership capabilities, we just need to see it more. Rudiger's also a very good standing tackler of the ball. We've seen Kurt Zuma, brilliant slide tackles, needs to get more blocks in as well when opposition players are having shots, but Kurt Zuma, I think he's had a solid season for Chelsea. Those two create the back four. So moving forward again, it is another one of those discussions about 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, and can we, if we play a 4-3-3, afford to exclude either one of Kovacic, Jorginho, or N'Golo Kante? We saw Jorginho was omitted from the side for the 2 matches prior to the game against Lille, but what we saw when he played in that match on Tuesday night was that sometimes when Chelsea are coming out from the back, you know that we like to do all of this, like Kepa kicks it to the left centre-back, Kepa kicks it to the right centre-back. Chelsea, predictably, play it out from the back. When Jorginho isn't in the team, there isn't that player in the pocket, in the gap between the defence and the midfield for Chelsea to quickly transition the play. Jorginho comes back in on Tuesday night playing alongside Kante and Kovacic in the same team. Next thing you see, finally, Chelsea have a brand new outlet for passing the ball and distributing and transitioning the play between the defence and the attack. After that performance against Lille, Jorginho has to start this game, and I think the 2 matches where we didn't see him and then the game where we did see him on Tuesday night, for me it's just very, very obvious right now that he is the engine and he is the man to make things happen in the middle for Chelsea. And somehow, whether that is dropping Kante for fatigue or just to rest him, or Kovacic, one of the two, just to give him a bit of rest, to bring Mason Mount in potentially, to get a bit more running in that midfield and pressing when Chelsea don't have the ball, maybe that could happen, but I think that midfield 3 was just so solid. We've not had any new reported injury worries on either Kante, Kovacic or Jorginho, so I want to see all 3 of them starting again. So we move in to the front 3. Now, Tammy Abraham's fit. He scored the goal against Lille to kickstart Chelsea's win to get us through to the last 16. Tammy's the #1 striker. Frank Lampard again in his press conference today keeps getting asked questions about Olivier Giroud. He doesn't really allude to anything. He says that he doesn't want players to leave in January because at this moment in time you don't know who he's going to be able to sign, which is fair enough. He doesn't want to say anything and then disrupt the player, and then maybe Giroud does stay and doesn't get a move, and then the next thing you know he stops training properly and Chelsea don't ever have him to call upon if they desperately need to. So diplomatic answers, as ever, from Frank Lampard in the press conference. Tammy Abraham starts up front. I'm putting Mason Mount on the left for this one, with Christian Pulisic playing on the right. And the way I see it working with these two is that they can interchange with one another. We both know that they prefer to operate down the left-hand side, but what we've seen on numerous occasions this season is when Chelsea do have the ball in the midfield, both Mason Mount and Pulisic draw themselves into the middle, and at times it's been very hard for Chelsea to break down defences, but against a fragile Bournemouth defence, I think kind of giving Mount and Pulisic that free roam around Tammy Abraham on the left and right hand side, with that ability to come into the middle, it could cause Bournemouth a lot of problems. And I think that bringing Willian out of the team, resting Willian, we can bring him off the bench if we need to. Mason Mount, he's going to be fresh. He didn't play that many minutes in the game against Lille, and I think that his kind of work rate could be really good for Chelsea, putting pressure on Bournemouth when they try to play out from the back. So you may be wondering, well, what does this mean for Callum Hudson-Odoi? Like, is he ever going to get a start? If we're looking at Bournemouth as being a winnable game, Frank's not just going to throw Callum Hudson-Odoi right into the deep end and start him away at Spurs next week. Well, no, I don't think that's going to happen. But right now with Hudson-Odoi, it's a patience game. People have been saying how he's lost it, he's not the same player. He had an injury that could have ended his career. It didn't end his career. He's coming back, he had quite a fast start, and since then it's kind of stunted a little bit. But it's nothing for us to worry about. I mentioned it in the 6 Things We Learned video after the game against Lille. I think in a game against Bournemouth, Hudson-Odoi can be introduced and he can really change the game for Chelsea if we need something different if the game isn't going our way. But giving Mason Mount a start on the left, I think he's actually had some good performances there this season. It means that Chelsea can carry on using the 4-3-3, which I personally feel benefits the style of play that Lampard wants to do a lot better than the 4-2-3-1. I think it also gives the midfielders a lot more opportunity to get forward. Kovacic and Kante. We saw Kovacic getting a couple of shots away outside the area again against Lille, and if he's playing in a pivot, sorry about that, the camera battery died. If Kovacic is playing in a 2, I don't think we get to see that industrious dribbling that is seeing Kovacic get into more attacking positions. He's got the confidence to fire a shot away now from outside the box, which is brilliant to see. And I didn't mention it, but his celebration and for his 2 nieces, I absolutely love that. If you've not seen it yet, I'll put something on the screen now, which is like a statement from Kovacic regarding his celebration. I feel as though the guy right now is the key player for Chelsea. We talked about Jorginho at the start of the season. We all know about N'Golo Kante's importance to this Chelsea team. Kovacic, for me, I just look forward to seeing him play every single time we're there. Tomorrow I'm sat in the shed lower, so if you guys are going to be there, it'd be nice to say hello. I think Tilda's going to be coming with me. She's not been very well this week, so maybe she's not well enough to come. If she doesn't come, I'll be going with someone else. It doesn't really matter. Well, I say it doesn't really matter. I want to bring my girlfriend to Stamford Bridge tomorrow. Is the diplomatic Frank Lampard-esque answer, but also the truth from me. Gonna wrap this one up now. Just a short preview for you guys today. Walking you through my Chelsea team. I'm going with a 4-3-3. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below, and let me know your score predictions for the match tomorrow. It's a big one for Chelsea. We've got Spurs away next week. They've got Mourinho. Then we've got Southampton on Boxing Day. And then Arsenal away, and I do believe they're probably going to have someone like Ancelotti as their manager come that match on the 29th of December. The next 2 away games for Chelsea, it's going to be tough. So Bournemouth at home, Southampton at home on Boxing Day. We've got to make the most out of these 2 home fixtures. This is a must-win game for Chelsea. We're looking over our shoulders now. Mourinho's doing well at Spurs. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got United firing again. They won 4-0 last night. So Chelsea have got to be careful. We need to win this kind of game, keep the points on the board, and keep teams chasing us instead of starting to chase them. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. We're almost at 80,000 subscribers now on the George Benson Football channel, which, considering we only started this in July, is absolutely mental. And it would be amazing to get to Christmas and hit 80,000. So subscribe to the channel if you're new around here and you haven't yet done so. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this little match preview today. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We will see you all at the bridge tomorrow. Goodbye.